How to learn your limits while they seem different every day. During my concussion recovery, they always told me to learn my limits. I tried so hard to know what my limits are, but it feels like my limit is different every day. It's almost an impossible or endless job to find that balance. There is no fixed limits, it's changing all the time. If there is one thing that people with a concussion have in common, it's that it's so hard to know your limits. Everyone always says just try to find that limit and don't go over it next time. But that's a bit easy to say, right? I searched for my limit for so long, and every time I thought I would find my limits, it changed again. You're constantly changing, which makes it hard. I'm not sure if this is the same for you, but for me, there is no fixed limit. I wish it was that easy. Then I would never go over my limits after all these years. But I do. It seems like it's happening again and again. What they said at my concussion rehabilitation. I remembered I had a session with my psychologist during this program, and she said, try to write down when you're going over your limits. I followed up this task and wrote this down for 2 weeks. From that moment, I realized there is no limit. Every day is so different. She didn't understand that this was the case. I think you can guess that I didn't have many sessions with her after that. Some days it feels like I can handle the whole world. Do you have those days as well, where you feel like nothing will ever set you back? You are almost floating through the day and you maybe forget that you're having a concussion. You don't have to think that much about what you aren't able to do. Sometimes it feels like it's 0 or 100 and nothing in between. When I'm at 100, it feels like there is no limits, but there always is. And I am sometimes too enthusiastic because I'm finally feeling good. I don't want to hold myself back on those days because I can finally enjoy things, do them, and feels like my life is a bit normal again. You just don't want to hold yourself back all the time. So the times that I don't have to, I enjoy the maximum, even if I know that it can cause a setback. Sometimes those days are worth a setback. Even when I don't go over my limits, a setback can be around the corner, so why not enjoy your high moment, right? I know this is against the rules of every doctor, but sometimes all those rules makes me crazy. On other days, it's like only getting out of bed is too much. But as we all know, when you have a concussion, there are days where you can barely do anything. You wake up and you immediately feel this is not my day. You have to cancel some appointments again. You aren't in a good mood, you feel emotional, and you wonder if this would be your life forever. Days can suddenly change from feeling on top of the world into wanting to crawl into bed under your blankets. In the beginning, it felt like every hour was different. Right now, after 5 years, it feels a bit more steady. My lows aren't that low anymore, but my highs are still there. Because I know how it feels to be in that low state, I can be more grateful for the moments I feel good, and I don't take them for granted anymore like I did before the accident. How to deal with those mood swings? In the beginning, I always tried to fight against my lows. I felt frustrated that it was happening again, that there was another setback. How could this happen? But sometimes I just didn't have an answer for that. I learned to let go of it and accept it when I wasn't feeling good. It felt like this saved me a bit of energy and my setback lasted a bit shorter. There are a few signs that show me when I'm reaching my limits. Every time I feel restless, when I notice I'm clenching my jaws, I know that I'm going over my limits. It's a sign that there's too much stress in my body. When I feel more irritated about the little things, I know that I have to take a step back. When I feel more emotional about things, I know that I'm feeling overwhelmed. When I notice I want to reduce my screen time, I know that it's time to take a step back. When I don't want to socialize, exercise, or do something fun, every time this happens, I just want to stay at home alone. I know it's time to take a step back. Finding that balance feels like my main task. I am at my best when I find that balance between rest and doing things. But it's so hard sometimes to find that balance. Even when you follow all the rules during your concussion recovery, it sometimes feels like that's my main task every day, finding that balance to function well. I love this quote that resonates with me because it's so true. The quote is, I'm constantly torn between I can't let this concussion ruin my life and I have to listen to my body and rest. Sometimes it's hard to recognize the moments you reach your limits. I learned over the years with my concussion when I reached my limits. But even knowing and recognizing all the signs, sometimes I just don't want to listen. Or I notice it too late. Or I have a setback without getting any signs. It still feels like an unpredictable game every day. But over time, the game is getting easier. I want to end this episode by letting you know that I received a lot of questions about what helped me in my journey. To answer all these questions, I wrote an ebook. Inside this ebook, you will read about what 7 things helped me the most in my concussion journey. These 7 things helped me to reduce my fatigue, to have more energy, to improve my sleep, to feel less stressed, and to be able to exercise again. You can download it for free and receive it right away in your inbox. Click on the link in the description or go to my website, theconcussioncommunity.com. It's the first thing you will see. I hope it's helping you.